Hey everybody, it's the Nitty Professor, and today I wanted to look into the topic of sock yarn remnants. And I've got some inspiration here. I have a couple of books I wanted to look at. And the reason this is on my mind is because I do knit a lot of socks. And because of my work, hey Amber, I'm doing a practicum at the local school for the blind, and I observe a lot. And when I observe, I sit and I knit, and I mainly knit socks because they're a little bit more discreet, So this one, hey Amber, my scaredy cat has entered the space. This one's almost done. Its mate is done. And then I end up, with this beautiful sock yarn remnant that I still want to use. And I addressed this topic with my German viewers the other day. I know some of you are German and English, so I got some awesome suggestions, which I thought I would share with my English-speaking audience by way of inspiration, but also solicit additional inspiration because I'm still a little undecided what I'm going to do. Hi, Amber. So, and I can show you why. Well, here's one project that I've shown before in my German and English videos, but I have actually made a little progress. So I think I got this cat pattern. I just adapted it from a mittens pattern. Hey, baby. And so it's a big cat, which when, look out, babe, when knitted it using sock yarn, I think I've actually got I repeat it like 5 times. And so I actually added a couple of rows to this, and I put it on 2 needles so we can see here the shape of the cat. Here is the front paw, and there's the hind paw, and the leg, there's the tail going up. I hope you can see that. And this pattern, again, it's adapted from a pattern that I got from Mittens, and I must have bought it on Ravelry. And I'm just using sock yarn, so it's just the white sock yarn. I got 2 ginormous balls of German sock yarn from Goodwill, and I'm just going up. I started with a really light color, as you can tell. It doesn't contrast much, but as I go up, I'm just going to keep using different colors. Oh, yeah, baby. She wants to perch right in front of the camera. Different colors going up of sock yarn remnants. So I'll be really curious what your experience is with sock yarn remnants. A lot of us, look out, babe, have a lot of socks that we knit, and you end up with, and again, if you saw this in German, you're not going to be surprised, but I just have this huge bag of sock yarn remnants. So, and a couple of these I made shorties, so I really have a lot left. This is, I think it's from Bolivia. I mean, it's just beautiful yarn. It's also attached itself to some stuff. In fact, I have the label here. Actually, it's from Uruguay. Manos del Uruguay. Alegría. I forget where I bought it, but isn't that beautiful? And it's superwash, so it's really soft. I'll just grab a couple of these. I've made socks out of all of these. This really stunning, brilliant pink yarn is high quality. Really want to use up the rest of that. This is from Breaking Yarn. It's a really cool colorway. It's called Doghouse, interestingly. And, well, here's a Zauberball from, this is a German brand, Schoppel, I think. This one is called Garten Party. So it's a garden party, and it's just a really lovely, variegated, barber pulled type of sock yarn. So that's what I'm dealing with, and I'm just thinking to myself, I have all of this wonderful leftover sock yarn, And I know I can do something really cool with it. So let's go through some of the ideas I've gotten so far, particularly from my German viewers. Could just knit more socks, right? I mean, that makes every bit of sense. And I could have either random stripes, or I could, organize the socks so that they each look the same, or they could each look different. Shawls were an idea. Sweaters, blankets. Several people mentioned blankets. Come here, babe. And I think that's an awesome idea too. I'm not sure if I would want to just do squares, or if I might want to do something that's more fun, something more like patchworky, kind of a little more random, have some fun. One idea that I had that it's right in the pattern is the Musselburgh hat. So the Musselburgh hat, you could like hold 2 strands of sock yarn together, and you all are probably familiar. I'd be curious if you've tried the Musselburgh hat with sock yarn and what your result was. That it's all about ratio, right? So if you cast on a certain proportion of stitches, and then you make your increases up to the size that you want, then you knit it to the length that you want, and then you go the opposite way on the way back. And I think that would be a good thing to do too. So I got some really awesome ideas, and I'm still kind of weighing them in my mind. I thought I would share some of them to you. The blanket idea, I thought made a lot of sense. Knitting squares, and sewing those together in a blanket. And one person suggested knitting double, which was a huge help to me, because I'm like, should I knit it triple, quadruple, single? Like in that sweater I just showed you, I'm knitting it single. But I like the idea of knitting it double. I could go through more yarn, and I could also have just a little bit, more substantial kind of fabric. A part of me just wants to cast on, do a swatch and cast on a sweater. So I have some inspiration here. I have this book, West Knits, Best Knits, and he has some patterns, Stephen West, that are deliberately using leftover sock yarn. In fact, here's a picture of the kind of yarn that Stephen West is proposing someone could use. I mean, it's a real mishmash there, right? You've got some of the coned up yarn and some fingering weight yarn. I see what looks like some mohair mixed in there. And then he's got this little jacket. And this is the kind of thing. So I kind of feel like this is an opportunity to do something just really cool, really different, that I would probably otherwise not do. This he calls the Penguono. I'd be really curious if any of you have knit any of these Stephen West projects with the leftover sock yarn, and if you have any advice or recommendations. Here's him modeling these. They're just really fun. And based on the colors I just showed you, I think I could kind of go crazy and have something that's extraordinarily colorful and unique. Here is one. It looks like a tunic. So I'll just show you the picture of the model wearing this garment. This is obviously knit along the length, so it's, you kind of knit across, and then you orient everything vertically. And it's just called parachutey. I'm a little intimidated by some of these patterns. I don't know, maybe you could ease my mind a bit. They just seem complicated on the one hand and random on the other. I have a little bit trouble picturing the construction. I'm so used to a very organized, particular construction. This is a dress version. And I'm not used to sewing pieces together. So it is an opportunity to try something different, right? And for all I know, they're just picking up stitches along the pieces. It's a great picture. I mean, it's great inspiration, right? I'm just like, intimidated. I'm intimidated. This has a lacy effect. So if you look down, that's cool. Sorry about that. It's got some lace to it. So again, I would be really curious what your experience is if you've tried this kind of thing. How it worked out, like how slavishly did you follow the pattern? What adaptations did you have to make? Here's one. Let's look. This is called Marled Magic Sweater. This one I've seen in some videos. And obviously, I would want something that's more form-fitting, but it does give you a lot of ideas and a lot of inspiration. And then the other book that I have that I'm kind of using for some inspiration is the one that I just showed at the beginning by Lekabaga. And the cover sort of says it all. From Europe's coolest knitter. Hopefully I won't knock my phone over again. It happens. So she's got all kinds of things in here, and they don't all use sock yarn, but some of them do. Just to, give you an idea, this is just in the front cover. Gives you some sense of all the different patterns that are in here. And I don't know if you're familiar now, in Europe, she's a really big deal. And she's got 2 books out. Again, have you got experience? Have you tried these patterns? I would just be really curious. The sweater in the back looks so much fun. The Carpe Diem sweater. I personally, I don't think a crop top would flatter me, but I could extend it all down as far as I want. Right, here's a little dress for a child. It's just adorable. And I haven't really dug into, I haven't figured out what pattern I could try or explore. But it does seem like there's a lot of inspiration that I could get into here. So again, share your experiences. The Bad Idea blanket. See, this to me is the kind of blanket I might want to try. Instead of sort of a traditional squares approach, she's got here's called the Bad Idea blanket. And she's got these sort of long stripes. It almost is straying for me into the area of more creative art as opposed to craft. And I'm really interested in that. And it is knitting. I see some indications with crochet hook here, and I have a feeling that's having to do with sewing the panels together. But there's a lot of sort of improvising recommended in these, as well as, detailed instructions. So I'm excited. Here's another picture. She's got all these sort of scarf-like lengths that she's laying out, and I suppose she's trying to decide how she's going to connect them, how they all fit together. I can almost see applying some color theory to this. In fact, I've been writing about color theory lately in my novel. It's just fascinating. I have a degree in art history, but not in art, and I really want to get more artistic. And Lekabaga has a degree in art. She is from Denmark, as you probably know. So, and here's a bunch of stuff about scrap yarn. So anyhow, I just kind of, on the one hand, I wanted to share some of the ideas that I've gotten, especially for my German viewers, which thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Vielen Dank. And some other ideas that I've been thinking about, and just get, some encouragement and some further inspiration on what would be fun. I suppose if I was going to cast something on, let's just say in the next week, which isn't going to happen because I'm still finishing some things, but I would probably, what I would consider would be doing a swatch with sock yarn held double to get the dimensions, and then just cast on a bottom-up sweater. But I don't know, is that would I get bored, right? Maybe it would be fun to knit something in pieces and put it together. So let me know what you think. I could definitely use some encouragement. Let's call it encouragement to be a little bit more experimental and get away. I'm always doing the yoke sweaters. I've only done 1 or 2 that aren't that construction, and obviously it's a perfectly good construction. It's nice to sort of feel like you know what you're doing when you're casting something on, but with this inspiration, with this yarn, I feel like this could be something really cool and unique. And I don't know, maybe I should expand my horizons. So let me know if you agree. And if so, if you have some ideas for how I could do that. And think outside the box. Maybe I should be knitting catnip mice for Ember. Because she spends a lot of time down here alone because she's afraid of a husky. And she might need some catnip to assuage her, to like a little mental painkiller, right? Come here, babe. So on that note, I'm going to close out. Ember and I are going to say so long, and we'll see you soon. And thanks in advance for your ideas. I appreciate it. Take care.